Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, hello, my name is Nisha and I teach watercolor and illustration tutorials. Today we're painting some fall-inspired watercolor wreaths. And because the seasons are changing and I've been inspired, I pulled out my watercolors. You'll need some watercolor paper, some water, your favorite brush, and some paints. I'm starting with a brown color. It's a little bit of a greenish brown, and going around in a rough circle, just using the end of the brush. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can also measure this out if you like, but rough eyeball is great because you'll be filling in all the spaces with some filler foliage. Alright, so using an olive green color, I'll start by putting in some leaves. They're really simple. You just take the brush and make these little ovally shapes. If you don't have olive green, you can also make it. You can take a standard green and add a little bit of red, and that will take down the intensity of that color and kind of dirty it up a little bit, and you get more of an earthy green color. Alright, so with the blue, I'm going in and adding some little berries in circular shapes. And when I'm dropping these in, they're just randomly placed, and I'm leaving a little white space in each of them. So that will give the berries a little natural highlight. You can also vary up your sizes, so I'm doing a few a little bit larger and then some smaller, and in bits of clusters, so clusters of 3 or 4 at a time. Okay, and then I have a golden yellow here with a little bit of orange and brown mixed in, and I'm putting in these little flat leaf shapes. So these could be maybe florals or maybe just a flat leaf. It's really just indicating a different shape and style of foliage. And so we're not going for anything specific, it's more about the colors and the feeling of all these elements together. And then I'm going in with a brown, it's a little bit of a greenish brown, and adding a stem to each of these pieces. And because they're still damp, some of the colors are doing a natural bleed. It's a wet on wet technique. And just a quick reminder, remember to hit that subscribe button on my channel so you never miss a brand new video. Alright, so for the next one, I'm using an orange with a touch of brown, and I'll put in these leaf shapes in sort of an outline form. And I'm just sort of using the end of the brush almost like a drawing, like a pencil. This is a good way to add some variety into your work. So you have a lot of contrast going on between colors, shapes, and texture. You'll also see me rotating my paper a lot, so if that's easier for you, go ahead and do that. Sometimes some angles are easier when you just flip the page around. So now that the first layers have dried a little bit, I'm going in with a shadow layer. So taking a little bit of that blue, a little darker shade, and dropping in a little shadow on the underside of the berries. Watercolors are great to go light to dark, so it's a lot easier to add in color and shadow on lighter layers. It's a lot harder to take away any color and saturation, so I always like to work a little slowly and build up my layers. All right, and then for the leaves, I'm using a darker olive green and just dropping in a little center line. I'm not doing it to every leaf, just a few that I want to add a little bit more contrast. And then with a darker brown, I'm adding in some detail lines into those yellow flat leaves. All right, so I'm using a lighter blue, just a little bit of a aqua color blue. And I'm going to put in a few softer foliage pieces just to fill out the wreath so it looks a little bit more even and full. All the other layers have dried at this point, so I can go ahead and paint right over or next to the other shapes without worrying about colors mixing up. Keeping this layer really light and translucent will help it push back into the background and let the other elements come to the foreground. So go ahead and add in all your final touches and your last layers. Sometimes it's good to take a break and step back and take a look at the whole piece. And that way you can look at it with fresh eyes and see if you still need to add anything or if you're at a place that you can stop. So in this wreath, we used 6 elements, different colors and textures, shapes, and sizes. You can practice painting this as many times as you like and do different styles and combinations. I have a few other samples here that I painted using the same exact technique, and I just played with different colors and shapes. These leaves are a little bit smaller and closer in size to each other, and the berries are a reddish orange. And in this one, I made the leaves that are yellow a lot larger, and I left a little bit more white space in between the elements. So have a ton of fun painting and practicing, and remember to keep playing with different colors and shapes and sizes. And the combinations are endless. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a ton of fun painting. And if you like this, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.